Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here with the Survivor Post-Game Live, and here we are. We are back here with, is this Jess in the paper bag? No.
It's Jam
Jam.
How was that effective? I was not looking at the clock. How you guys doing?
The people listening to the podcast that are maybe confused, but everybody here watching us on the stream is so excited to see you. They were sad when you had a paper bag over your very handsome face.
But it's a pretty face. It's a just paperback quarantine hotel room paperback face.
Yes. Jam, how are you?
Oh my God, I'm doing great. I'm doing a lot of stuff at once, lots of work, a lot of, just thinking I have a regular life, but it's not gonna be regular anymore because I have to do these things at 11 p.m. Puerto Rico time.
Oh my God!
When I'm supposed to be sleeping, but I'm so excited because this is the show I
Puerto Rico
love.
time. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought you were on Eastern time.
We are half of the year, but when you change hour or whenever, then we're not. Yeah. But it's been like that since I have my baby. Don't worry.
I would have said no if the 11:30
to me
start time
because of an hour.
Yeah,
don't say that to me.
Okay, no, this is early compared to tomorrow night when we do the traders. But Jam, which you'd be great on, by the way.
Oh my God, what an honor!
Could you imagine?
Say that.
Could you imagine?
No, it is for legends only. I think any new people that get on the show are gonna be extremely lucky. But oh my God, I would love to do it. Imagine going after like Sandra and Sari and Stephanie and Parvati.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we'll maybe talk about that later, but we've got a lot to talk about. What a messy night here on Survivor. 2 hours, a little slow start, but that second hour really delivered. And boy, this Yanu tribe, Jam, it's a mess. It's a
mess. It's a mess. And you can see like a little bit of people trying to make it work together, but they're either going too hard with the wrong people or their people are not paying attention. And it's like crazy. And everybody is like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I was like, sometimes like, shut up. Just let people talk. You don't have to be saying everything you're thinking. Like, let stuff simmer and then you can answer back.
Okay.
Oh
God. No, I hope you're not going to take your own advice here tonight because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, of course I'm going to say what I'm thinking. That's what I'm about.
Okay, good. That's why we have you here. All right, we've got a lot to get to here tonight with Jam. Let's also mention what's coming up tomorrow. I will talk with Jess. We'll see if she's wearing the paper bag tomorrow morning. Okay, we'll have her on the exit interview. Check out what she has to say. And then your friend and mine, Stephen Fishback, will be back with us 2 p.m. Eastern live for Survivor Know-It-Alls with Steven. And then on Thursday night, I'll be live with Puya after the big Traders finale. 2 hours now. The finale and the reunion.
I'm going to be watching.
Going to be a wild night.
I'm going to be watching.
All right. Jam, this tribe is a disaster. It started out, it was all fun and games. Let's get rid of Jelinski last week. Okay, clean slate. But we come back this week and things are getting worse and worse. And really, this is making Tika look like the picture of harmony.
Oh my God, I thought of it.
What is happening here with this Yanu tribe?
What is not happening with this Yanu tribe? I mean, like, since the beginning, they go back, and I'm looking at my notes, but it's like, it's a mess. It's like Battle's crying. Everybody's emotional. We don't know what's going on. Kenzie wants to do a lot more than she has to do at this point. It's a freaking mess. All they have to do is enjoy themselves. They don't have a flame. They don't have a machete. And just, enjoy the beach. I remember being at this beach, and this is like the prettiest beach. Not a lot of food. But don't stir the pot if you don't have to stir the pot. And these people are just like, oh, a mess. I'm sorry. Yeah. It was crazy. And I was a mess. I mean, at least I was part of a tribe that was messy, but we knew when to open our mouths.
Yeah. So there was something that Jeff highlighted at Tribal Council that was super interesting that came up in, it's only the second episode, only the second Tribal Council. But Jeff was talking to Tiffany about the state of the tribe and tribe strength versus your allies. And there was a question that Tiffany answered about, you start to think about who you could play the game with. And rather than, and we saw this in episode number 1, where
Mm-hmm.
he was definitely, they could have used a guy like Jelinski in that challenge tonight. Tall guy,
They would have
long arms.
thought of it.
That would have
The
helped.
arch.
Okay. But are they already playing at the merge? And is that the right way that you should play in the new era?
In the new era, it's all about establishing those relationships that you can go forward with. And that question about Jeff, knowing like who is the person that you need to trust as your person, like I had in my tribe, it's what you should be going forward. But have in mind, and this is something that I talk about with Caroline when we were very on in the tribe. I was like, have in mind that if your ally is not the best physical ally, what this means long term is that at the end, it's gonna be a tribe of 2, like what happened with Ricard and Shan, right? So this is something that Caroline and I talk about when we were like very early on. It was like, we're gonna work together, and if this means we're gonna keep losing, know that I'm down to work with you, right? But if you're gonna commit to a person, don't start jumping and talking to everybody about everything. It's too early. You do that, like I did it after the merge. I started talking to everybody about every single plan because I have a little more grasp about how people react to information. But this early on, when people are still emotional, you need to like ease into it,
Do you see an end in sight for Yanu? Do you feel like that they could come back and not go to tribal council the next episode?
It all depends on the challenge. It all depends on the challenge. It's a crazy with this. If this was like 2 tribes, I do not see it. But having 3 tribes, there's always the possibility that a third one, like the other one that is always like second or maybe is gonna lose, because that's what happened with us. Sometimes we got second place, but by sheer luck, just like a second.
Was Jess the right person to send home tonight?
I don't think so, because I met her. She's amazing. She's freaking awesome. She's amazing. I have a feeling that Banu would have been the best answer. I think Tiffany and Q are still valuing too much the physical thing because they are physical people, so they cannot see it another way. But I think when Kenzie tried to approach Jess and Banu about taking Tiffany out or Q out, I think it was the right approach, but it was too early, so it didn't work out. So was taking Jess the right answer? No, it should have been Banu, in my opinion, because he's too emotional and not. You can be emotional, but you need to control information. And that's something he doesn't know how to filter because it's not a quality for him. It's not an important quality for him. You can see the other people telling him, like, chill out, dude. Like, you're on the hot seat, like, relax, But he values other stuff, and that's also important. And I'm going to try to be nice about, being emotional, all that stuff. But this is a game about information. So if you give away the information, it loses the value.
Well, and it's okay to be emotional, right? Like, I don't want to come out and say you have to be a robot, because that's not a good way to play the game. Nobody's going to connect with you if you don't show emotion. But we've seen Banu in both the episodes like have really big emotional reactions that are not helpful to what he or the tribe is trying to do.
Yeah. And especially if the people that are working with you tell you, like, don't say anything, this is what's going to happen. You don't need to tell this person. This person doesn't need to find out. And then Q is like, cueing him. I was like, imagine this person has an idol. That's why you don't say it. And he goes like, whoa. Yeah, that's right. But that's too late already.
But even at the challenge, like on the mat, he has like big emotional reactions where he's like indignant about things, and he's like really like ready to be like get very like passionate and emotional. And you'd like to see that fire, but also that he's like ready to, just blurt things out constantly.
But it's okay if you're blurting out stuff that is about who you are as a person, because he blurting out about his background and the Indian and Gandhi and all of that stuff has a lot to do with like what relates to him and his motivation. But if you're blurting out stuff that is just like taking digs at the other tribe, like maybe these other tribe people did with Jelinski, like walking in, that was like crazy.
Yeah.
And Soda going after like, what about the food? I mean, like that's when opening your mouth gets into like a weird territory, because now you're like personally attacking people instead of just saying why you're there and your motivation.
Yeah. All right, I want to ask you about the trash talk, because that seemed very out of character. That did that like, and we can never tell because we're not there.
Yeah.
So is this something that does happen out there and they just like cut it out of the show, or is this
Definitely.
something that seems like that this is okay? So that there was trash talk in Survivor 44 between the tribes and we just didn't see it.
By me.
Yes. What did you say?
So here's the thing, and it was perceived as trash talk. The first time Soka lost, which was I think the third episode, which where Claire went out, we were doing the spinning blocks, the 4 blocks, right? And we copy Ratu's puzzle, and Soka didn't copy the puzzle. So Carson and I won the puzzle thing, and I'm very excited, and I tell Soka, "Oh my God, you're gonna love Tribal Council." They got so mad. What I was trying to say was like, Tribal Council is freaking awesome. It's like Disney castle. It's a medieval castle. They didn't show any of that, but Danny got super mad that I did it. So I get why trash talking, like me talking trash talking, and that was left out, because had they put it in, there would have been no explanation about me saying it was because of a Disney castle, right? It would have just come across and me saying, "You're gonna enjoy Tribal." Wow.
Yeah. So, but that's not even really trash talk. That just got interpreted the wrong way.
It gets left out. But it gets left out, and I think when I merged into the game, this kind of mad talk that I used to have, thinking it was funny and come across as trash talk or perceive as it, not what happened on 46. But it didn't help me at the beginning of the thing, because people see me as this loudmouth, right? So, but on 46, if we're going to talk about what they did to Jelinski, saying like the several jokes, saying the legendary joke, saying the last name first out, right? Oh,
yeah.
It's cool and funny that they said it, but we haven't seen this in Survivor in a long time, when they're like trashing someone over and over and over by multiple different people. It was fun, but had I been that person, I would have not liked it. I mean, I don't know.
Where does that come from? Do you feel like that did Jelinski like give people a bad impression in the pregame Ponderosa, do you think? Or do you think it was just that it was just from witnessing him on the mat chat that they got that impression from him, that they could make these jokes about him?
If what we saw of Jelinski, the few minutes we saw of him talking in confessional and mat talks, is a percentage of what he was actually saying at Mats, I can only imagine everything he said, because they picked the best stuff, but who knows how long he was talking about stuff, and people were like, "Dude, shut up," That's
Yeah.
They might have said that about me if I had left, but I never left.
You never left. Okay. All right. I want to talk about the Kenzie, Tiffany, Q triangle. Okay. Yeah. Now you know about 3-person alliance. Okay. This is getting a little sticky though, because Tiffany, who's in the middle, where I mean, and from the viewership standpoint, like it didn't seem to me like, okay, one person of the 3 of you had an alliance and then each of you had a friend. Here we have Tiffany, who it really seems like she is in the middle, and then she has an alliance with Q and she has an alliance with Kenzie. And so can a setup like that work, Jam Jam?
In paper, I thought it was gonna work, but if being Kenzie, because I think Q and Tiffany are in the best position out of all these people, because everybody wants to, be with them, except this third wheel that is Kenzie. I think it would have been perfect, but Kenzie going too early to Banu and just without a motivation, without an actual threat of tribal, is what I think makes these 3, specifically these 3 don't work, but I want it to work. I want it to work because, these are very fun, powerful people, and I think these people are playing the game. And I want to see a game of people that are going to play. So I want it to work. I don't think Kenzie did it the right way and too soon. she put a little bit of mistrust in the two of them, and they know that happened, right? Because they talk about it. So let's see how that go for. And I think you addressed a little bit of that before they went to tribal council when he said, um, Jess might be a loyal person that I can control, and Kenzie might be a powerful person, but somebody like that is gonna befriend people that are not gonna work with me. So he already day 4, day 5 have this thing in his head that maybe Kenzie is not the right ally, and that's not good for her.
Yeah, it's not great for the long term of this alliance. Does Tiffany need to get Q and Kenzie to sit down and sort of like work things out? Could she be the peacemaker?
Can she Carson us out? I don't know, right? I think Tiffany has that capability.
But this is different than you three, because you and Carolyn had a friend and from what I understand,
we had a different one, yeah.
Right? It wasn't like, maybe at the very end, but it wasn't like in the beginning, you're targeting each other and then both of you are just like, hey, Carson's my person, right?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I don't think it's the same at all, right? You're right. I'm just thinking about what her qualities and her capabilities are within like arranging neutrality in this trio. But I think Tiffany she's a freaking rock star. Let's just say it. She's cool.
Yeah.
You want to be on an island with a cool person that is fun, that is strong, that is energetic, that is going to, make that life experience, that Survivor little time that we're there, good. And she's a very social person. And I think she can find a way to make them work, at least like do it short term, one day at a time. Tell them, guys, this is what we need to do. Like, you need to like put this aside. Let's just work together. Like, let's do it for us, blah, blah, blah. And then figure it out as more people get into the mix. I think she can do it.
Could she potentially get into a scenario where it's like, well, who's your real number one, Tiffany? Is it me? Or is it
all
the
she
other
has to
one?
say it's whoever asks her. All she has to say is like, of course it's you. And then say to the person, of course it's you. That's all she needs to do. Because you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. So all she has to do is like, of course you're my number one. Of course I'm crying about you. Of course I'm playing with you. Of course that's why I told you about my idol. That's why you work with me. Of course, oh my God, no, I found my idol with Kenzie. But of course I told you right away, Q. It's like, you just need to say yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. I do think that Tiffany needs to be doing more, especially like on the Q side of things of like, don't worry about Kenzie. I've got her. She's telling us in confessional, she's like, Kenzie's going to be loyal to me, but I don't know about Q. But I think she needs to be doing more. And ultimately, Q doesn't decide to vote for Kenzie. So maybe we just didn't see it. But I do think that she could be doing more to sort of like say, don't worry about, I got her. She's not doing anything. She's not going anywhere. She's not going to flip. Trust me. I got this.
And maybe that happened.
Maybe it happened. Yeah, we don't know.
Maybe that happened, but because we don't want to go into like edging or whatever, they don't show a few of their reasons and reasoning why the decisions were made, right?
Yeah, we got to guess. But that's what we're here for, right?
I think it happened. I think she talked to him, because if I were to go with what Q said before tribal, I would have voted Kenzie off. And that's not what happened.
Okay. A lot of people talked about before the season started, they had just finished watching season 44 and they see this guy right here, Yam Yam, win the season. And now they say, oh, here comes Kenzie. And she is a salon owner. And is she going to are they going to be worried about Kenzie because of you?
They should have. They should have, for sure. There's something about working with people all the time that you understand how people think and work, right? And I say this constantly, and I've said it 100,000 times. And in Australian Survivor, they voted the salon owner first out in this season, so that was good for them, right?
I don't remember that far back, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, she was like tough with the
tattoos. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
And it's weird because we obviously don't look alike. Like, you see Kenzie and you see me, and you are like, you don't say like separated at birth. That's not what you say, right?
But you do both have the social charm. And what we say about Kenzie, I think also can be said about you. Look at her. She goes to this person, to this person, to this person. Jess,
they noticed
talked about this a lot.
Yeah. And she said it at the beginning of the episode. I don't know if it was episode 1 or episode 2, but she says like, this is what I do. This is having a hair salon and blah blah blah.
Yep.
This is what I do. So I know she knows it. She knows she's a threat. It just depends how stupid you make yourself look so people don't see it.
Yeah.
But what she's not doing right is like she's talking to everybody in front of everyone.
Tell me about the salon. What comes first? Is somebody they grow up and they have this gift of that they connect with all these people and then for some reason they become hairdressers, or do you get that from working in the salon?
I think any job that has to do with talking to people, being a bartender, a server, a hairdresser, it puts you in the position where you have to make yourself uncomfortable to create bonds really fast. And I don't know, this is where your question is going at. I mean, the job doesn't come because you like people. A lot of people like the job and they like the art and they like the thing and they learn how to work with people because it benefits them. So you get those skills with the hard knocks.
Okay. So you find a new person comes in and they've just became a hairdresser. Now I don't know if you hire somebody with no experience, but if somebody is new on the job, do you?
I love hiring people with no experience. That's my favorite thing.
And do you find that they develop that social like butterfly ability from working in the salon, or do they come with that built in?
It's very, very rare that people come in with 100% of the skills, right? Like you can be a confident person but don't know how to do the art. You can do the art but not be a confident person. You can be confident and have art but don't art and not have the social skills. So I always go with them and I take them by the hand, and the first thing that is the most important as somebody that builds my staff and puts a lot of energy into them for them to be successful, for them and me and the group and the team and the family, is that I tell them, I trust you. I believe you. And this is why you have also to trust yourself and trust your instinct, because that in their mind at the beginning, I'm above, is giving them that confidence. And I'm like a son of raised like in a plant, right? And I give it to them. And I tell them what happened with the customer. No, you're right. You were right. Maybe you were wrong. Maybe you should have done this instead of that. And maybe if you had said hello in a different way, that person would have reacted differently if you were listening to what the person was saying, or give them option. And don't use the word no. Here's a very important thing that I've learned about my mom. Two things. When the person get her color done and it's red, you don't tell her, oh, I love your red. Because then she goes like, I didn't want a red. I wanted brown. That you don't say specific. You say the generic emotion without being specific. And you can take that to the game. You can say, oh, I love what we're doing, blah, 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 blah. Instead of saying, oh, I love that we're going to go against this person. Right?
Yeah.
So you're very energetic. And also, if people ask you like, oh, can I pay with check? And you don't say, no, we cannot pay with check. You have to pay with cash, credit cards, blah, 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 mobile apps or whatever. You say, checks, you can pay with cash. You can pay, like you say the positive answer instead of saying no. And this is something that I teach people right away. Don't say no, say all the yes options, and don't be specific, be general.
Yes.
So I think you can do that with everything.
You use this on Survivor too.
Yeah, of course, because that's how you don't get yourself into a corner.
Yeah.
That's how you give yourself options and can modify your interpretation of what's going on, because you're not being specific. So you're never telling the person, oh, like I would go into a conversation and they would tell me the votes and I understood everything, right? I'm a numbers person. I run the business, blah, blah. And I was like, so what do you mean? So what am I voting? So what are the votes? So it's like, what, 4? No, it's not 4 jam. We're like 3. I was like, oh, yeah. I let people give me the answer before I say something back. I don't know if that's you're understanding it, but it's very clear to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen again and take notes. But this is, I mean, you have
Are
all
you playing
these great.
Again?
Yeah, no. I just wanted to get better at what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, between this and then the sparkle in people's eyes that you see, I mean,
it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
it goes together.
Okay, tell me about this business with the fake idol. Okay, now we know you've seen a fake idol in your time, Jam Jam?
Yeah, I saw it in Jeff's hand, but yeah.
Yes. And you saw that when Josh took the beads
Oh, that's
from the
right.
tree
I forgot.
mill.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. How could I forget? I should tattoo that. That was the fun. So much fun.
Yes. Okay. So, what did you think about this plan? This was a lot of work to make sure that Jess doesn't play the shot in the dark. And they didn't even see season 45. They didn't even see when Caleb got the shot in the dark. Why are people going to all this trouble just so somebody doesn't play the shot in the dark?
I think when you're such a big fan of the show and we have those moments, you go into the island and you're like, I'm gonna play hard, and this is what I'm going to do, so it's fun on TV because this is what I want to watch and this is what I want to do. And these people are like going balls to the wall, and it might work for some people, but when 5 of them are doing that, it's too much. But I mean, to be successful at it, and it was hilarious to watch. It definitely made a lot of fun, and it gave them, it's 2-hour episode. They need to fill all the minutes, so it gives them a good freaking chunk of time with the deal with the fake idol, which I don't think it would have made it for so long had it been a 60-minute episode. But that's another conversation,
right? Because we got the Tiffany taking Jess to go look for the idol, and then she can't find it, and then finally. Then Q just says, all right, I'm just going to give it to her. And he gives her the idol. And eventually she says, are we sure? Is this real? Is this even a real idol? And he's like, oh, give it back to me then. Give it back to me.
That was a good answer for Q. That was good. That was the best part of everything. That's where he sold it when he asked for it back. I think.
You don't want it? Give it back to me. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I do with my kids. Like, oh, you don't want it? Okay, fine. That's it. Now you don't get anything. No, I want it. Give it back to me.
Yeah. I don't have kids. I have a cat. But yeah, that was fun. And good for Jess. She could have been cocky and not played it, and then she would have gone home with a fake idol and she would not know it until she came back. And
she was a good sport. Even
you
when
haven't
she got voted out.
It. Yeah, she knew it. She knew it.
JJ, did you eat any ants when you were on Survivor?
I think I did, but I don't like that. I ate a lot of stuff that people didn't eat. I ate like snails, like Helen and I would eat snails. Yeah. And this is why I didn't want the rice, because I was eating. People didn't want the stuff that we had on the island, which was nothing. But we had snails, hermit crab. We would eat the shell, like almost rotten coconut, and I would eat. But no, ants, waste of time.
It's a waste of time. Yeah, maybe if you have 150, you'll be okay. Exactly. Also, Banu said something that was interesting to me at the tribal council when they were like, "Hey, Banu, you're making the block hot." Tiffany said to him, like, just like, stop doing this. And he's like, no, because I'm doing this because it's just us. It's just when I won't be like this when we get to emerge and there's other people here. But if it's just us, we should have it out at tribal council. And I know you went to some tribal councils where your tribe had it out a little bit. Do you agree with Banu?
I'm hoping it's like an Emily Caleb moment where he's learning. I know Emily was probably not going to do that at tribal council, but I'm talking about the social aspect and how to address stuff that you are like having difficulty with. So I think he could be taught, and they could foresee it that in the next tribal council, sit him down before it happens and go like, dude, you cannot do this again. Let's work on hints, on code words, and blah, blah. But a lot of the fights, when you talk about me on Survivor 44, and like a lot of our fights were originally on purpose, but they got out of hand.
Yeah, the choreographed, and they got a little out of control. But I don't think none of this was like for effect for Jess. They were all like, "Hey, Banu, like you're fine. Stop being like this."
I don't know why Jess did not go strong at it and took it as maybe I doubt she did, because they would have showed her fighting for it. I think I don't say she gave up, because I don't think she gave up, but I could have seen her fight a little bit more. But
Right.
maybe because she was in danger from the first Survivor Council, she only saw one way out, and that was like, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna take it as a happy, successful adult mature person,
Yeah.
and I'm,
Yeah. She did play
go
the
for it.
idol. So I don't think she was like accepting her fate,
Yeah.
but I just don't know like how much fight she ended up still having.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of, but this is the personality of somebody that is an amazing person, an excellent human being that is very humble and very successful at life,
Mhm.
So I'm not saying that her not fighting or being like super aggressive in tribal council was a lack of motivation, but it's also maybe she puts it in her head in like priorities, and she goes like, I did what I had to do, and it is what it is. And if it works out, if not, I already did it. And because
Mhm.
we all are different people.
Okay. So the challenge that sent this group back to tribal council, this was a brutal challenge where
Yeah.
ultimately it was that they spent 2 segments on the show of trying to get the blocks into the arch. Really, persistence was the perfect word here. What did you think of that challenge?
Many, many heavy pieces, a lot of different like skills to be had, especially when everything come with strength and having to use your brain in any way with heavy pieces. It
Yeah.
becomes super uber difficult with the height factor and the weight factor and the exhaustion, and we're already at the end, and we had to dig, and we had to push, and we had to pull, and we had to carry, and it was horrible. It lasted forever, but
Was
I know
forever.
everything about this episode lasted forever. It was like, okay, I get
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Uh,
So
they even did like a slow mo part
they did. They
of
went the
a
slow-mo part. But I
yeah.
guess I'm hoping that you might be able to tell us where, like, did this challenge go on for so long because it was a 2-hour episode, or do you feel like that you all like you did have challenges that like went on hours and then ultimately they just got cut down shorter because of the episodes? I mean, you played back in the day, back in the old school era of 1-hour episodes.
Dude, you're hilarious. Um, I hate you. Of the no family visit and no intro, thank you.
But they still don't have a
Uh,
family visit. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, so our first challenge with the big blocks where Brandon went down and got an
Mhm.
IV fluid lasted like 2.5 hours.
Wow.
It was super long, and obviously in a 90-minute premiere episode where two people went out, especially with Bruce going out, there you didn't see a lot of that challenge. It was like
Yeah.
super super long. And we also had a challenge that lasted 16 minutes, which was the one with the rings that Lauren won, and they basically had the same amount of time on screen. So it's like by the look of their faces and the sweat and the
It felt like it.
exhaustion,
Yeah.
no, I knew that lasted forever, especially the last part with the puzzle. They were like done.
Mhm. Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt for Nami who that they
Had to do it
finished it
twice.
and then they looked up and it was like persistence, like they had it wrong. It's like you gotta go back, go do it again.
And it's at least on this season, like they did two color sides, right? So they knew where the letters would go on each side. So it didn't happen like on 45. I
Mhm.
think it was like Drew and Austin, right? Reba. Like they did like
Yeah.
they also had to write a big word, but on the other side it was misspelled.
Right.
At least
Right.
they got that this season.
They got it this season. And it was also different colors. I don't know if it was for that challenge back
That's
in
what I meant. Yeah.
45. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think so.
Do you think going back to last week, did they make the mistake to vote out Jelinski?
Had they know they had this challenge, of course they made a
No, but
mistake.
I mean, even okay. So now knowing what we know now, like, was Jelinski holding back the team? Like he was he was a mess
Yeah.
and he was a lot to handle. But do you think that like he seemed loyal? I
I
mean,
think I think they punish him for like giving Maria and I forgot the other name, but an extra
Tevin,
vote,
yeah,
Tevin. So right, Tevin, amazing. But I don't think it was an enough reason to get him out. No. So if they were going for that, because I think that out of everything they said, that was the biggest thing. I would have preferred to have somebody that is more that I can work with in both ways, like as a relationship and as physical.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they regretted it too.
I think so too, because I think, hindsight's 2020, but really it seemed like that was a Q decision. Tiffany and Kenzie did not want to vote out Jelinski last week. They went with what Q had to say. And then they still have to vote out Jess this week because they lost the challenge, because they don't have a Jelinski in these challenges where, I mean, it just so happened that I think this would have been a challenge that he would have been a perfect person to have there for. It seemed close enough where if you sub out Jelinski for Jess, I do think that they've got it. And then they have this tribe of 5. And I think just from Q's position, I think if you're a player like Q, you need people who are going to be loyal soldiers. And I think he feels like I have that in Tiffany. And maybe he thinks he might have that in Banu. But I think if you're a player like Q, the biggest thing I think you need is numbers. And I think that he can't go into the merge with it's just him and Tiffany. We saw that with Caleb last season, where it's that same kind of profile of like, okay, big, strong guy. He's on everybody's radar. And what happened? Like Emily, sure, she can get under the radar, but Q's not going to be able to get under the radar. So the only way he can win is like he has to play like a Boston Rob game where he gets to the merge with his numbers and then just takes everybody else out. Yeah.
I think like halfway through your speech, which was beautiful.
Thank you.
You said the right thing with his profile. With his profile of being a strong person that know what's going on, because you can be a strong person that doesn't know what's going on, and then you have a different profile. But when you are like Caleb or you're him, like everybody's looking at you, so you cannot go there with one person. Instead, if you're me, and then you get into a tribe with one person, they go like, "Oh, it's Jam Jam and Carolyn, whatever."
Yeah,
it's different. It's different, and that. Maybe he sees Tiffany as that person, but obviously more people would have been a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to come into the merge with like 5 or 6 people. Like he can't go into the merge down with just 2 or 3 people because he's going to get picked off. He can't be under the radar.
Yeah, especially if the other tribes are going to be like full or like 5 or 6 when they join, like what happened to me. The strong guys on the other tribe are going like, boom, Q out.
Yeah.
Now let's play with whoever's left.
Yeah, so I do think it was a mistake for Q to go after Jelinski last week, and now I think he's in this bad position where he's really playing from behind. Let's talk about some of these other tribes also. I guess there was more going on here at Nami. We really saw a lot about Venus and her position. What do you make about where Venus is at in this game?
Well, I love what's going on with Venus, and I'm pretty sure Venus loves what's going on with herself too, especially because she's gorgeous, of course. And coming from episode 1, where everybody was like, "Oh, she's Parvati, we're not trusting her," blah blah blah, and then seeing like Soda like going for like with her a little bit, and then seeing the beginning of this episode that they're like, "Oh, we don't want her at all. She's the outcast. We're not gonna see her." And then Randon is how you pronounce the name?
Randon, yeah.
Randon seen something in her and wanted to work with her and uplifting her. I was like, yes. And this is great. I don't think we would have, again, I have an issue with the 2 hours and 90 minutes. Sorry. It's like, whatever. But
that's your issue. You thought tonight 2 hours was too long, or you have an issue that your season was only 60 minutes?
Yeah, of course, my season.
Yeah.
Hello.
No, imagine how much screen time you would have had in 90 minutes.
Way more. I already had a lot. So there's charts about it. Go to Reddit. You're gonna see how much I had. I mean, Caroline too, of course. She was amazing.
It would have been nice to have 90 minutes so somebody else could have gotten some screen time.
Yeah, Heidi, Jamie are awesome, and Lauren. Here's the thing. I love her. I love them. So no, what I wanted to say is the thing. Why the reason I'm rooting for Venus on episode 2 and how she's coming up and being more successful at game, even though her tribe has not lost, is because we had enough time to see episode 1 that she was an outcast. And this is where I'm going with the 2 hours and 90 minutes, is because they give us enough time to build this story of each character, right? And this is why it's awesome for her, because I don't think maybe would have enjoyed Randon going to her and saying I don't trust her, but now because we have all this time, and I think it's beautiful, and I hope it pays off in the end with something going great with them, and they are like, you know, something cool happening, because that's what I like Survivor. You know, I like shit that happens and people getting voted off and people getting powerful that are like weak. You know, I like those stories, and I love that she is coming out of it, and she had that moment to say, I mean, and I love Soda. It's great, and it's good to have somebody that antagonizes your energy. I was like, oh, she ripped the idol from my hands, and oh, why? I also deserve it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, great. I love seeing this little, like, what makes you pop, what makes you mad, what makes you happy. Yeah.
But why is Soda always taking the idol out of her hand?
Because she's excited.
So
Because she's happy. Because she's so Daisha. No. I mean,
is it because Venus doesn't deserve it? She didn't do enough to get the whole the idol
I'm
first?
not gonna say that. I mean, I think Soda has done a lot more on each challenge that I was expecting Soda to do.
Yeah.
Because you know how normally the typecast of like Soda, like people that look like her, not her, of course, but do on the show. But I think she's doing great at the challenges. Have you seen her exercising on Instagram, her stories?
Not yet.
She's a warrior. She's strong, right? And I like that because I was also the heavy girl of my season, and I get to be strong and win at the end. So what I'm saying is, like, I love that we have these two powerful women that maybe they're not getting along, but they're gonna give us a good story. And I like it.
Okay. So Randon, he found the beware advantage, and then we saw last week, you did not think that Randon and Venus were going to work together. And then they have a moment on the beach where he ends up telling Venus about this. And I kind of thought that Venus's reaction was going to be like, oh my God, what a mistake, Randon. Don't tell me about your advantage. I'm going to exploit it and get you voted out. Instead, she's like, I have a rock solid ally in Randon. This is very interesting because usually you have two people at the bottom of the tribe, Jam Jam. They don't typically
get along.
Pair up. It's like, hey, it's me or them. I got to bury them.
Yes, but if that other person has an idol, of course you think about it, right? And I totally agree. And I get so excited. It's like, I love this show and I forget what we're talking about. We're talking about Survivor. I wanna call Randon.
You're gonna call him? Yes. Okay.
I don't have his phone number.
I'll be Randon. Here, where's the? Yeah. Okay. Here, call me. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, hold on. I gotta talk to Jam Jam's on the phone. Everybody. Okay. Hey, Jam Jam. What's going on? It's me, Randon.
Randon.
Yes.
Oh my God, that episode.
Oh my
was
God,
amazing.
I can't believe it. The Jam Jam is on the phone with me.
The only Jam Jam. Hello,
Jam Jam,
the
you'll
Puerto
never
Rican
believe
one.
it. I got the beware advantage. I didn't even have to go in a bird cage.
Freaking bird cage. Here's the thing. How in one moment in your head you said, like, it's Venus the person I need to say, like, that's genius, dude, because you know that if you have somebody on the other side of your tribe that is going for you because you're a strong man, you already took a number from them. That's freaking genius. Like, what were you looking at? The palm tree, the fronds, like the waves of the ocean, the hermit crab.
I was just looking around. Yeah.
What freaking tree? I was at every beach. I'm the only person on Survivor 44 to be at every beach. I don't remember seeing any tree that looked like information.
Yeah. That's what I found. It was right there.
I love it. Good for you. Good for you.
All right. Thanks, Jam Jam. Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
He was great. It was great. And the more I think about it and I put myself in his shoes, I'm like, I don't know if he understands if it was a good move. I don't know. And that's what makes me like excited about it, you know, because I don't know if it was like I'm by myself and I need like to get someone, or if it's like I'm gonna take a number from people. It's cool. It has many ways to go about it, and I love it.
but the person that's running that tribe is Tevin. And this was kind of a more quiet episode. Tevin had such a big premiere episode, a little bit more quiet episode for Tevin. Well, what's been your thought about Tevin?
Tevin is a poet. That's my number one thing that comes to my head when he talks about that opening amazing monologue. And I love that he has all the connections in his tribe and he's very powerful and people are respecting his energy and his motivation and everything he brings to the tribe because, again, you want to be in a tribe with somebody that's going to be good for the tribe, helpful, fun, and help you going forward in the game. But I don't love that he's starting to make faces about people too soon because I don't think, and the way I say I don't love it because I did it, of course, I never wanted to make people part of my disses at other people because that can always be used against you. So if I would like just tweak a little bit of his game right now, it would be like, don't make faces because you think it's that funny. Like when it's only like two of you, like do it with everybody. Like I would diss at people with everybody looking at me, so it wouldn't be like a gossip. Yeah,
because you know what? He can have a great relationship with a bunch of people in the tribe. He can have a great relationship with, with Soda and Hunter and even Liz. But you know what? It only takes one person with an idol maybe to get you out of the game. You got to have a good relationship with everybody.
Yeah, you don't know who has that. You don't know. Like they're not gonna. You're gonna suspect everybody has it, but you also don't know who has it, right? Of course. So yeah, that thing about the idol, the shooting the darts, what people can do without needing you, because that's the thing. You need to understand people's motivation and what people, the power that they have, and how they can use it against you every single step of the way and every single conversation. So.
Okay. Then there was the Sega tribe. Not a lot going
on.
No,
but we not let Nami without talking about Liz saying she's a millionaire and she doesn't need the money.
Yeah, and she said they asked her. This is 2 episodes in a row that they talked about Liz's money, and she talked about how, Liz, do you date? She's like, well, if I could find a man that isn't gonna care if I make a ton of money. And I was like, I think there are a lot of guys that'd be okay with that.
They would love it. Hello. But you don't talk about money on Survivor, and this is something that I said when I landed on the beach, and I try not to make a thing about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew how much it costed me to be on the show, because to be away from your house for the amount of day that we have to leave, and like leave everything set and make everything enough like perfect so your life doesn't crumble when you come back. Talking about work, family, mother, pets, plants, house, husband, wife, whatever you have, your lovers, everything. It costs money.
Yeah.
So everybody that plays the show is not doing bad. I know there's always spectrum of, because obviously maybe when you're very young, your family takes care of you, or maybe you have a husband that takes care of everything when you have another job. But I'm saying like everybody that goes there is well, in my opinion. There might be one person, but most of them are. So don't talk about money. Don't talk, because everybody knows it's an important issue. Jeff says it's $1 million game. You're gonna play for $1 million, blah, 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 constantly. So yeah, don't talk about the money. Talk about the experience. Talk about the journey, the dream, the motivation, your family. Don't talk about money. Live.
Yeah. Is there anything to, obviously, traditionally, you say, okay, well, this person, they don't need the money. I'm not going to vote for them. Is it possible that, Liz seems like she's bringing it up a lot. She seems like a person who might be like calculating. Could this be part of her strategy at all of like, hey, in the new era,
get me to the end.
It's great for me to have something people aren't worried about me because I am, I've outed myself as I am very financially successful. And then all of a sudden you didn't worry about Liz, and now she's in the final 3 and maybe she pulls something out.
Yeah, I can see it. It's like bringing another winner to the end. I was like, they're not going to give it to another winner, right? Because the winner already won. I can see how that can be a strategy, but you do not. One thing is being a winner and everybody knows about it, that you already got the money. But another thing is like putting the weapons on some, like from your mouth into somebody else's hand.
Mhm.
That's the thing. No, I get what you're saying, but
Maybe I'm just I'm
I don't like
guessing.
it.
I'm
I don't like
guessing.
it. I don't
I'm
like it.
guessing.
I don't like it. I don't like it. You don't
Okay.
know, like meet your people first, and then maybe at merge you say, "Dude, this is my true, my truth or whatever," and then see how it goes. But don't say at the beginning. No.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the Siga tribe. And this is a pretty pretty happy tribe. Not a lot of drama here.
Mhm.
Charlie has got to figure out where he wants to go. Seems like Charlie and Maria
Yeah.
seem like that
Maria,
they are the
Maria.
pair at the center of things.
Yes.
Who you love,
Love it.
Maria?
I love Charlie and Maria with the Malcolm and Denise thing. I love that.
Yes. How about this? That they do a flashback to Malcolm and Denise after last season. We talk about Rob and Amber. Flashback
winner,
to Rob
yeah.
and Amber. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to say Jam Jet so I can have a flashback.
Then you get a flashback. That's next level.
Hey! Oh
Yeah.
my God. I like that, but if you follow, they did it with the challenge of the crab, the bamboo stick, and the coconuts, right? At the end, the last episode 445, they had when Jake said the numbers and the winners.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, so they had also those flashbacks, but it's funny because they're also integrating Instagram and social media and promotion with the episode, which I think is about freaking time. Survivor, thank you very
You
much.
were so close because they've talked about Gabler, that one of the things was 43. If it was only 44.
Oh
Yeah.
But they didn't. They knew I won because they told me they were talking about that on the beach, but it was not official.
Not official.
Bruce?
Official. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I love the flashbacks, and if you're gonna make a flashback for story, because I love Australian Survivor when they do the flashback of the people's family. I like that. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like it because it paints you a story about who the person is outside, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I love it. I love how they do the
game.
flashback on Australian Survivor.
Yeah, so it helps you understand what's going on and what's important on this person, because you're only seeing people like in like a swimsuit or whatever underwear. But yeah, I like it. So if they do that flashback to Survivor, especially because Survivor is casting a lot of fans, so it helps also paint the picture, because if a lot of new fans are coming in from the Netflix thing and the pandemic new followers, they need to show who Malcolm and Denise are, because maybe some people don't know.
Yeah. Go back and watch on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. That's
what Philippines.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Jam, tell me, were you playing along at home with guess the Taylor Swift song and guess the Metallica songs?
Oh my God. I was like, what tribe would I pick? Like, what? I had no idea. Like, maybe like Olga Tañón, which is like a merengue artist from Puerto Rico. Or like, I was like, or maybe like Fangoria, which is like a Spanish like funk band. I remember singing a lot of Queen during the show, during my challenges.
Oh.
Don't Stop Me Now is like my number one song always.
That's a great
and I go
song.
for it.
Yeah.
Funny story, when I was holding the carrot that Franny won and Brandon, and that's why our group lost and Matt had to go home. Well, he also had to go home because it was me or him. But if you see me mouthing my words on that challenge, I know, it's very specific because it's my story. But they don't tell you how much time it is, but I know like Don't Stop Me Now lasts under 2 minutes. So I know the song by heart.
Wow.
So I would sing the song in my head to know how much time we had left on the challenge.
Yeah.
So then I thought that I said that to people. I got third place in that challenge. Like Franny won, Brandon won, and I was the other person in that challenge.
Did you do that during the last gasp?
No, last gasp I was doing something else. I was swallowing the water on last gasp and moving so I get warm.
Oh wow.
It was very cold. Yeah. I was swallowing the water so I could breathe because I couldn't push it all, so I would swallow it.
Yeah.
So I told that to Lauren, and the 2 times Lauren won immunity, she told me I was singing That Little Sunshine of Mine because I told her I was singing. I was like, I told you I was singing. Yeah. Do you understand what I said? No. Yeah. But
you said you sing Sweet Child of Mine?
She sang, and that's why she won, Lauren. Yeah. Because she heard it from me.
Yeah.
No, but it takes your mind out of the pain. That's the whole point too.
Yeah.
And But you said something else. I forgot what.
Yeah, so
I
they
went
must
there.
have been. They were so bored that they sat there for 115 Metallica songs versus
I put the
116
number. Yeah.
Taylor Swift songs. What kinds of stuff would you do when you were so bored on Survivor that would hold the attention of the tribe?
They did like 106 and 108 because I wrote it down. Because I
Okay.
have notes, Rob. I'm a professional.
You are. That's very professional.
I cannot understand my handwriting, but I know the numbers. I could see that.
It's like a doctor.
I'm a doctor of Survivor now.
Yeah.
So, what we used to do a lot of course, it's so stupid because everybody says talk about food. So what we would do is like we would say soups, and everybody would say their favorite soups. And we would go like desserts, and everybody goes like, "But your best hot dessert, your best cold dessert, or like best pasta dish, or your like favorite sauce, or how do you do that?" Brandon is an amazing chef. Like I don't know if you know this, but he would give us the description of his recipes, and I think that's the thing that helps us the most. A lot of our people in my season on Survivor, they wanted to be in camp sleeping and like not doing a lot of stuff. And Caroline and I would like, let's go fishing, let's go to the thing, let's do blah, blah, blah. And we would try to do games and like explore. And not a lot of them wanted to do that. But yeah, that listing 208 of any artist, that's impressive. Another thing that would not have made the episode if it was 60 minutes.
Yes, I think that would have been the first thing that got cut, I think. Although a lot of people liked it. So, okay.
I love it.
Yeah. JJ, let's start to take some questions from the listeners. I got a lot of questions for you. If you have questions for Jam Jam, post them in the chat. Let me just take a moment and mention that, we got a lot of things going on these days over on our Patreon podcast feed. Of course, Rob is a podcast Patreon community, greatest Survivor fan community in the world, and we added something new. Check this out, Jam Jam. Okay, so let me see if I can hold on, I made Jam Jam disappear. Okay, check this out. We've added a brand new tier to Patreon. It's called the Jelinski. Several means 7. For the first time ever, we opened up the $7 tier on Patreon. You get the Patreon podcast feed and access to our Rob is a Podcast Discord when you join the Jelinski tier. Much like Jelinski, it's only going to be around for 1 week. So a limited time offer for that, but a great time to jump in here at the start of the Survivor season, start of the Big Brother Canada season over at robisawebsite.com/patron. Okay.
So the question, does that like people get into the membership and it's always $7?
It's always $7, and then that nobody knew was going to be able to do $7 after this week. Okay,
that's amazing. Does Jelinski get a lifetime membership?
I think Jelinski. I got to send him some merch.
Do I get one for asking for him?
We'll get you in there if you want to. You want to be in? We'll let you in. Okay, and then we've got everything coming up over this weekend over on our Rob is a Podcast Survivor podcast feed. Of course, all the stuff that I'm doing, plus not to mention the B&B, Why Blank Lost, Bryce, of course, with the Purple Pants podcast. Shannon's going to be back with Survivor News, and then Survivor Global, and then check this out, Jam Jam, brand new show, Club Condo. This is talking about all the wacky stuff from the week. Chappelle and I, we did the first episode. We've got the 17th place roundtable coming up this week. We're going to premiere it Sunday night. Zach Wertenberger, Maddie, and Brandon Donlin will join Chappelle and I for Club Condo's 17th place roundtable to talk about the newest member of the 17th place club. That is Jess.
Love it.
Be on the lookout
for that. Is the 17th place club a new show?
I mean,
it's just the guest.
I guess
it should be.
Every
it's freaking Zach, Maddie, and Brandon. Hello.
Yeah, get Jess on there too.
Have you hung out with them? They're like
not. I'm not sure if all 3 at the same time.
Wow,
that's a good group. That's a good group. Okay, all right. Let's take the what a flex. This is like when Bruce said that he knew Kane. Incredible. Okay.
He should have. He probably said he knew me too, but they didn't put it.
They cut that part out. Yeah, because it was only a 90-minute episode then. They didn't have 2 hours. Okay. All right. Elizabeth, not Elsbeth. Elizabeth has a question. Who on the Purple Tribe is in the best position after this vote? Who would you want to be on the Purple Tribe?
Me, I want to be
Yeah.
myself. I want to be Jam Jam.
Yeah. That was Tika. You're purple.
Yeah. I think Tiffany. I think Tiffany.
I think so too.
It's yeah. It's there's something about her that she has control about
Mhm.
everything. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love her. I love her.
Okay. All right. How
Do you want me to
about
expand on it or no? If you want me to
no,
expand, let me know.
unless you have something else to say. Yeah. Okay.
Because the thing is like Kenzie is like going after like them, and then Q is going after Kenzie, and Banu is obviously emotional. So if you want to be somebody on the tribe, you need to be Tiffany, because
Mhm.
she's in the top. She's like a little triangle, and she's gonna, doesn't matter if that tribe crumbles to pieces, she's gonna be okay with them, at least
Okay.
with them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. William Doc says that would Charlie and Maria make a more believable Malcolm and Denise if they were on the purple tribe? Yeah, Malcolm and Denise have to be on the tribe that's losing all the time.
Yeah. What's up with purple tribe losing? Yeah, no, yeah. It would be fun to see them lose a little bit, and because I think they have a cool social interaction that it would benefit story wise if they were losing and you could see their gaming, right? Because right now it's like just a hypothesis that is gonna work. We're hoping it's for real, but we don't see them like working at it.
Yep. Who do you think that they should work with? That there's Charlie's Angels, or they could bring in other people. What do you think is going to be the 4?
I like playing with girls, so I think Charlie and the 3 girls is the best option. Yeah. So are you always gonna get that answer from me?
Yeah, I think for Charlie, like, you've made it through 2 tribal councils. Charlie is like, well, sure, I could go with the women, but then I'm at the bottom. And if we go to 3 tribal councils, all right, you've already won 2 immunities. So like, what are the chances you're going to go to the next 3 before the merge? So I wouldn't be too worried about voting with the women if you're Charlie at this point.
I feel the same.
Yeah. I mean, you have a situation where, you go to the first tribal council and it's like, okay, well, if the women stick together and I'm 4th and I'm at the bottom, now there's a very real chance you could go to 3 tribal councils before the merge, but you've already made it through 2. I think Charlie would be okay. Yeah.
No, especially like if he, at least I get it what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like he shouldn't worry about being the 4th. But what's good about the thing that he was worried about it, the thing about him being worried about it was that he acted on it by locking in Maria. And I think that's locking in the most powerful player of your tribe, because he has an advantage that everybody knows. I think is always very smart.
Okay. All right. Question from Scott. He wants to know, do you think that Jeff always carries a knife? That was produced. Okay. So what do you think that they tell him like, hey, Jeff, they're putting a buff on the immunity idol. Come in and you rip it off it.
I 100% thought that as soon as I saw him took his knife out, and he bringing a knife out with the rice bag on 45, and yeah.
But this is a new side of Jeff, that he has a switchblade.
Well, he told you he wanted to be meaner, so you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I freaking know that was produced. Like Jeff gets his shirts ironed and delivered, so there's no like pocket knife in his pants. Like they give it to him.
Yeah, he was ready. What do you think about the Nami tribe putting a buff on the immunity idol?
If I was Nami, I would love it. But coming from a losing tribe, I would have hated it. I would have been so pissed. But it was shown, like you can see a lot of friction in this group of the 3 tribes. Like there's more friction that I've seen in many years, in many seasons of Survivor. It's like they go at each other, and let's see how that plays out when they merge, right?
A lot of times the immunity idol is like, what was the immunity idol in your season? What did it look like?
It was the shield and the sword.
The shield and the sword. Okay. So here in this season, it's like a little it's like a little figure. It's like a little person figure. And then so people like dress it up. And I wonder if there's something to that, because I know you are such a great historian of the past seasons, but in Survivor Amazon, the immunity idol, it was like a teddy bear. It was like this bear. And when we had the immunity idol, like we stuck like a blue feather, like in the
I remember having feathers. Yeah.
Because we said, okay, I don't know. I think when you have an immunity idol that looks like a doll or looks like a little person, they dress it up.
I never had that much opportunities to dress stuff up, but of course, but that idol that you're saying is like that monkey suck doll. It looks like it, right? The one from your season.
Yeah, and then we lost the challenge, and I think like Heidi was like, "Here's your feather back."
Yeah, but and then your necklace burned at the fire or something like that, right?
Yes, that happened also. Yes.
Yeah. You guys were a mess.
Yes, that's true.
But you had a Coca-Cola fridge. I remember that, right? Was it you?
Yes.
How did that work? I never asked you.
So that we won a challenge. We had a reward challenge, which I kind of think the 2-hour episode might have needed a reward challenge.
I thought so. Yeah. I thought so.
It was a long immunity challenge. But we won the reward challenge, and the reward was that we got a refrigerator with Coke. And I guess they must have had like some kind of like car battery
generator.
Yeah. And I don't think it was a generator because I think we would have heard that. But it was basically like we'd go to the fridge and there was like all these Cokes in there. And then Roger, RIP, was like very particular, like let's put our water in there. He's like, no, we're not putting the water in the refrigerator. But we only like to ration like 1 Coke a day. But yeah, we had Cokes and like vanilla Coke.
That's fun. How long did they last? Were they like replenished?
You know what? I think that we had the swap like very shortly after that. So
okay, so they took it out.
Yeah, and then
when you swap, you went into the new beach.
I left that camp. So then I think that Gene and Heidi and Christy got to drink some of my Cokes. But whatever.
Well,
whatever.
It's okay.
Beat them all. Yeah.
We should get Coke. If Coke is listening, get us some. Redeem yourself.
Yes, please. Yeah. Okay. All right. How about this question from Grace Muller? How unnecessary for Q to get Jess to play the fake idol? What made Russell a bad villain was the unnecessary mean things he did. What Q did was so unnecessary. I think people didn't like it that they made Jess play the fake idol.
From her reaction.
But you all said you wanted villains, right?
I said I wanted villains.
No, I mean,
they said they want villains.
Yeah.
But Jeff is not going to give you villains anymore. So I think it was mean because Jess is so sweet. But I think it's a good play for him. He's just like safe, doing something that he's like can help him with whatever he has to do. But he already burned that move, though. That's the only thing regarding Q doing it. No, it's not regarding the Russell thing, but going forward, then they already burned that move.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, you can only control so much, right, Jam? I think I would be like, look, she's got to, if she plays the shot in the dark, if she hits the shot in the dark, if that's how I lose, that's how I lose. What were the chances?
Yeah. And I also think, like, now that you put it that way, it's like you're not taking out right now. Like, he's not the mastermind player that you're like mocking and like, like playing a game with. It's still very early, right? So I don't think I think it was the an overhanded move for what it was going to happen.
Yeah,
or what needed to happen.
Yeah, and I don't want to just single out Q. Like, he ultimately was the person that gave it to but I think it was like that. Kenzie and Tiffany, they were all sort of in on it. But it was just like, I think you're doing too much. You don't need to do that to get Jess out. Yeah, and she voted for Banu, right?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah. So all three of you would have been fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about? Question from Elizabeth, not Elsbeth. Question for Rob and Jam Jam. What does Tiff and Q being in a good spot after this episode say about the new era strategy? Is the goal not to be the social butterfly like Kenzie?
I think all of them are socially good. I think what's wrong about being a social butterfly like Kenzie is that Kenzie has been revealed as a social butterfly for the benefits of working with every single person. You can be a social butterfly and get along with everybody socially, but if everybody knows that your social characteristics and skills are being used to get other people out, then that's not to be a social butterfly, if that's what I'm saying. And that's where Tiffany comes in, because she's a social butterfly, but her hands and her moves and her motivations are not revealed to everyone. Makes sense?
Yeah. I guess in this 6-person tribe, are you better off to have like a super tight bond with one person, or to be just sort of like well liked by everybody?
Well liked by everybody, every single stage of the game. Always. That was my thing.
Yeah.
Always. You talk to everybody. You don't disregard anybody. You talk about everybody, about game with everybody. You hear everybody. You cry with everybody. You smile with everybody. You laugh with everybody. If you have beef with someone, like I had beef with Josh, you go and make them laugh on the side. Like that's what you need to do.
The problem for Kenzie was that, okay, Tiffany she was really good with, and Jelinski she was really good with. And now Jelinski's not there. And now it's like really just Tiffany. And then also that Jess and Banu kind of blew up her spot with Q.
We're talking about Kenzie? What's going to happen?
Kenzie. She's not in a great spot right now.
She's not in a good spot if they lose now in the next episode, yeah.
Who do you think goes next? Is it Kenzie or Bonnie?
If they lose, I think Kenzie. I think from what I understand of learning about how Tiffany and Q interact with people, I think they value control, which is very powerful on Survivor. So, and that person that benefits them with control will be Banu. I don't think they see it as somebody that they can control. And Q already addressed it before they went to tribal.
Yeah. I mean, we know from how he dealt with Jelinski that I feel like if it comes down to it, you have a total wild card in Banu, and then somebody who might be seemingly on the surface a more stable element, but maybe one that he can't trust. I think that he will decide to get rid of the person he can't trust rather than, the wild card in Banu.
Which if anybody's gonna play Survivor soon, that's the way to do it. You cannot play Survivor with people you don't trust. So if you ever have the opportunity to get somebody that you don't trust out of the way, that's the answer, baby.
Okay.
Unless that person is gonna protect you in any other way, but obviously, like, there's layers on layers.
There's so many layers. Okay, Danny has a question. How do you feel about the Venus and Randon alliance? Will it last, or is it built on too flimsy of a foundation?
I'm rooting for it to last. As a big Survivor fan, I look a lot into the editing. I'm not spoiled, so I don't know what happens. But I'm hoping, from what I gather from the first 2 episodes, that I think it's gonna pay in a big way for one of them in the future.
Okay.
How? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
rooting for it. I'm rooting for it, though.
If Nami goes to Tribal Council, I really am very interested to know what's going to go on, because you would feel like that Randon is going to get the key, just like we saw with Tiffany, and so then they'll have the idol to potentially play, and I wonder either like could they potentially either play the idol successfully, or could they? I just feel like that Soda or Tevin or Hunter, I feel like isn't going anywhere soon. And so I wonder, could Liz be the person who ends up going out? Or maybe could they play the idol and then get Liz out?
If they use the idol, I don't think they're gonna go for Liz unless they are
I wouldn't
told
think
to
so
like,
either. Yeah.
yeah. I don't think they're gonna play the idol. I think they're gonna go forward with the strength of the tribe. If that were to happen, that they lose before swap or merge, because maybe a swap happens, right?
Yeah.
We're considering it's gonna like be like.
When did they swap last season? I'm trying to think. So they swapped
did.
after after it was Sabaya got voted out. So after 3 episodes, they swapped.
Yeah. So maybe that's why their relationship is important, because the two of them go together somewhere. I don't know. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem for the Nami tribe as it is for now. I think it's a thing about what they're gonna do in the future.
Okay. All right. I want to ask you this question that is about whether or not we will ever see the Banu tribe or the Yanu tribe not go to tribal council. They got to sit out 2 people now in the challenge. That's a huge advantage, hard thing to recover from. Could Yanu win a challenge?
I think Yanu can win a challenge. I think, and this is something we talked about a little bit before. Like, if it was 2 tribes, I think Yanu would keep losing. But if the fact that it's 3 tribes, anything can happen, especially with the fact that they need to seat different people back to back. So maybe they seat out the wrong person in one challenge and then they needed them for their next one, or vice versa, whatever I'm trying to say. And then they don't have that special person for that challenge and they cannot use them. So yeah, I don't see Yano losing again when it's 2-4. And these 4 people can communicate. It's all about communication on Survivor. A lot of the times, it comes down to that. And if they don't put a puzzle or a word thing, I think Yano maybe can pull it off. So it's the purple tribe.
Yeah,
I'm always going to root for the purple tribe.
I wonder if they lose one more time and then when they swap. I mean, last season.
Also. No, I don't think so. Lulu.
They lost 3 in a row and then they swapped. So I kind of wonder.
Maybe because of they didn't have Flint like Lulu and all that time without fire.
Is that a big deal? Yeah. Because I've seen people say that.
You need fire. You need fire.
No, because I've seen people say in the new era, you don't even need fire or Flint.
Yes, you did. Yes, you do. You don't need Flint forever, but you need fire. Because it's such a morale booster.
Yeah.
Tika, my tribe, lost a lot of challenges, so there were a lot of days we didn't have Flint, but Caroline and I will make sure to put the pot and the lid and rocks around the logs with that have amber, and put a big log on the fire pit before we go to challenges or tribal council, so when we come back we still have an amber and we could start the fire again. And we didn't have Flint for days. And we still have fire every single day, every single night. We never let that fire down. We were like fire monsters.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
I've seen where players from the new era say, you don't even need a fire.
That's bullshit. They know.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. They say you have enough clothes to stay warm. You don't have to boil the water. You don't have rice. What do you need a fire for?
Because you don't have anything else. You don't have a phone. You don't have a fridge. You don't have a stove.
TV. Yeah.
You don't have
a fridge. You don't have a fridge. Yeah.
You forgot about that until I brought it up, Rob.
Now I think about it all day.
There's something about fire. It's like, have you ever seen, like, for example, my grandfather was a vet and he had occupational therapy with art, right?
Okay.
So both my grandparents were vet. One is dead, one is not.
Yes.
But the one that died at the end did a lot of art, and then kept his mind busy and kept him healthy and happy and stuff. And I think that's what fire is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to offend anyone if what I'm saying is wrong, but what I'm saying is, like, you need to keep your mind occupied and keep that fire alive, even if you don't benefit from it because you have 3 layers of clothes, whatever.
Yeah.
It makes life has a purpose on the island.
Yeah.
So it
gotta get the firewood. There's something primal about it. You sit around the fire. It's like a nice time.
I love fire. I'm a pyro too, so maybe
I didn't know that
for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love fire.
Okay. Did you ever cut your hand with the machete like Banu did?
Not with the blade
Yeah.
side, but the opposite side because of the way we hold the knife for it to have pressure when we're cutting bamboo or coconut.
Okay.
The friction out of cut here, like Carson and I were cut here all the time because we were mostly the people that were like, oh no, we'll help you with it. We will help you with it. And then we would have to wear the buffs and multiple band-aids.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we only
Just
got
be
4
careful.
band-aids per day. So if you
4
had
a
5
day?
cuts, if you had 5 cuts, you need to
Each or for the tribe?
no, because it ruins the look.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if everybody has like 20 band-aids, it doesn't look, So there was like, this is how many you get, and this is
But
like you
the
put them whenever you
the
want.
tribe has 4 band-aids, or you Jam
No, I
did
think
get
each person.
Yeah, that's
The
it. You
person
get
that is
4
hurt.
on
The
your
person
body.
that is
Yeah.
hurt. The person that is hurt. But sometimes like Caroline will get band-aids for her, the back of her like the friction of the shoe on the heel.
Okay. Yeah.
So she would have an extra one and she would give it to me, and then the next day I would give her one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jam, what else from these first 2 weeks of Survivor that you want to mention?
Oh my god, I'm so excited that Survivor is back. I'm like, this is the thing that this is why I play, because I love the show and I'm so excited to see it. I think these people, from what I've seen, I think they're gonna have a lot of friction, which we haven't seen in a while. And is it the thing that I love the most? No, because I love love. I'm like Jeff. Jeff loves love. I love love.
Yes.
But there's something about Survivor that when it has a little friction, it makes it a lot more fun because you start rooting for a side.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think this season is gonna bring a lot of energy, and these people are there to play, and I like it. I like it. Do I like the reptile look?
The gecko?
No, but
You don't like the big gecko?
no, I don't like it.
No.
Not because I don't like listers. It's just that it's weird. It's
Too
weird.
What would you prefer that they would have done instead of the gecko?
Like, if you're not gonna make a theme,
Yeah.
just make it look pretty and beachy.
Okay.
That's my thing.
That's what I was going for tonight.
Oh, I like it, and it's
Yes.
purple. I know you did it because of me.
For you. Yes. I pulled out all the stops.
I like it. I like
Yes.
it.
Okay. Look, we're honored to have you here. So
Thank
fun to
you.
go through this with you and get to pick your brain about how to tell people that we don't take checks. Do we take checks for Patreon, by the way? Let me find out. Okay. We'll find out by the end of the show.
Don't.
Okay. Probably not. Okay. Check? No, we take credit card, they said. Okay. All right. Let's talk about what else is coming up here over on RHAP, Jam. Okay.
Oof.
The Traders is going to be
Excited.
back with the little sneak preview. Taryn is standing by. Taryn, what's coming up after Survivor?
Big Brother Canada coming up very soon.
All right, don't go anywhere.
I just entered the wrong room.
Don't go anywhere. Taryn
it.
is standing by for Big Brother
Spicy V.
Canada.
Spicy V's on Big
Spicy
Brother
V.
Canada. I'm so excited. I met her. I love her.
Okay. All right.
Love
Find out
her.
what Spicy V was up to tonight.
Spicy V. Yeah.
Over on Big Brother Canada. All right. Taryn is ready to go right when we get done with this. Thanks, Taryn. Okay. All right. And then on Thursday night, the Traders is ready to go. Finale and reunion show. See if Sandra is going to bring home the money. Jam.
She better.
We'll
I
see.
doubt it, but she better.
Okay. All right. Then you watching Deal or No Deal Island?
No, I have it on my to-do list. I tweet about it because I have it on my list of shit I have to watch. I have a list and I cross it out because, for example, Australian Survivor is like so many episodes. I don't know where I left, so I do that.
Yes. Okay. Do you care about Boston Rob?
I saw his arrow move with the half a mil,
It was
like
a great,
million and a half.
really great moment. Yeah. Check
and
this
there's
out. I thought this was Boston Rob's greatest challenge moment of all time. It was incredible. I was we're having a ton of fun talking about Deal or No Deal Island. It's an interesting show. Check that out. Me and Jenny and Chappelle are watching it every week. So check that out over on our podcast and on YouTube. By the way, Chappelle says that Jam Jam that he misses you.
I miss you too.
Yeah, says you don't text him.
Because he was to Puerto Rico, I think, and I wasn't like available. I'm sorry, Chappelle. I love you.
That's okay. All right, we're keeping him busy. robisawebsite.com/subscribe for everything we're doing. Check out all of our podcast feeds on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or search RHAP wherever you get your podcasts. Okay. All right.
Yes.
And then, Jam Jam, where can people keep up with you?
Well, you can go to my Instagram, which is where I'm more active. It's at YAMILPR. That's my real name, Jamil PR from Puerto Rico. Or like Twitter, it's Yamil PR, or my website, jamjampr.com. Or you can visit me at my hair salon if you're ever in Puerto Rico, Rob, which I know you're gonna come. Like AOC, like everybody, people come to my salon.
That the First Lady of Podcasting has said that she very much wants to go to Puerto Rico.
I love it. I love it. And if you please come, let's plan something. I know I'm not going to ignore you like I ignore Chappelle or like a lot of people. I didn't ignore him. I was busy. And a lot of, like, a few Survivor players have come in and I haven't been able to meet with them. But please come to Puerto Rico. You're going to love it. I love it.
What will we do in Puerto Rico?
Well, you're going to come to my house. I'm going to show you my Survivor Amazon memorabilia, of course. That's like number one.
Yes.
You're going to go to my hair salon. We're going to make your mani pedis for Nicole, of course. Like, we can do your beard. Like, we can go hang out, eat really good food, go to El Yunque, go to the beach. I'm going to go take you to where I learned how to make fire before going to Survivor.
When you became a pyro.
I was already a pyro. I burned my parents' mattress when I was a kid. But I went to the island. I went to the beach in Puerto Rico every Sunday, and I would practice fire. And that's why when I went to the show, I was the one that started my fire, and then I took scars and blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love it. I love it. There's so much stuff to do in Puerto Rico. Come.
Okay. All right. Great commercial for Puerto Rico. Great commercial for check out what Jam Jam is doing. We got a great Thursday coming up. Stick around for Big Brother Canada coming up live after this. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.